Hello campers and welcome back to the channel. Mark here with my cup of coffee. Grab a cup of joe and have a seat around the fire with me. Today we're going to be talking about Star Wars Unlimited, and I'm continuing in my series for the Star Wars Unlimited Discord League that I'm in right now. We play a set of 3 every single week, so a best of 3 every single week. And for this second season of our Discord League over in my other server, our requirement was we had to choose a base color and use that base color throughout. So I chose green because I think it's the most versatile. And last week I showcased deck for week 1, my deck for week 1, which was Bosk Green, which is kind of like a Bosk Bounties ramp. I ended up going up against a meta Sabine Green running Darksaber, and I eked out the win 2-1. I won game one-handedly with like the quintessential crazy ramp turn where they put out something on turn 1. I literally put out a bounty hunter's quarry on it, hit it with Daring Raid, hit it with Bosk, removed it, found a super laser tech with it. The next round ECL'd out a super laser tech and crashed in my super laser tech to get 2 more resources, putting out a price on your head with those 2 resources, releasing Bosk, attacking with Bosk, and ramping twice, ramping 4 times on turn 2. Let me play Reinforcement Walker on turn 3. Crazy game. Second game, I lost. It was close, just couldn't get a handle on the Sabine damage coming through. And the third game, I eked out the win with 2 life remaining. He, at the end, for a cause I believed in, when I had them all on the board, putting me at exactly 23 damage, and I was able to pull out the win with the 7 damage from my Maul. Okay, all of that to say, this week we're moving on to a new deck. I'm really excited about this one. I've been playing it a good bit, and I'm super pumped about it, so I can't wait to show you. So let's take a look. Okay, this deck is going to be a Ray Green deck. Now, I know the popular deck is Ray Red, because you get cards like Pillage and Force Throw, but I've been having a great time with this Ray Green deck. So we're going to be running Ray and Energy Conversion Lab, as you can see on the screen, because I'm pretty much going to be running Energy Conversion Lab in every variation of anything whenever I'm playing it. Now, one of my requirements is I will not play cards that I do not own, so I have to have them in my actual physical collection. One of the reasons I swapped to Heroism was because I finally started buying some of the Heroism cards from set 1, and I got my playset of Luke Skywalker in the mail this week. So I was like, okay, let's play with Luke Skywalker. What can we play with green and blue? And I think that the best version of that right now is probably Ray. So let's go through the cards that we run. We run R2-D2, we run Clone Deserter on turn 1 or at 1 resource. Clone Deserter is probably the best with Ray's ability. This comes into play as a 1 resource 3/4 with Restore 1. At that point, the bounty of letting your opponent draw a card is so minimal. It's just an absolutely dominant field lane play that pretty much crushes your opponent across the board. Of course, R2-D2 can get that experience from Ray twice. It allows me to kind of fix some of my draws, which is nice. 2 timely interventions. We're pretty much always immediately resourcing those cards and using them for their bounties. Restore to Arc 170, and Cole, K-U-I-L, I think is his name. It's a little hard to read on my screen. Anyway, the 2 resource 2/3 with Restore 1, and on attack, you look at the top card of your deck. If it matches your base, which we have a fair amount of green cards, about 50-50 in this deck, you get to draw it. If not, you put it in the discard pile. Sometimes this is going to hit a Luke and you're going to feel sad, but most of the time it's not going to matter. It's just going to dig you towards the stuff that you want to, or put things in your hand. It's an excellent card on turn 1. I put 1 copy of Inspiring Mentor. I do have more than 1 copy, but I didn't love more than 1 copy, and honestly, I end up usually just resourcing Inspiring Mentor. I put in 2 Spark of Hope. I've seen other decks that run different things, like the Bounty Hunters or Price on Your Head. I like Spark of Hope a little bit more, so I'm running that. Yoda, of course, the 2 resource 2/4 with Restore 2 that draws you a card on death. The Jedi Lightsaber. Now, I only have 2 copies of this, but I'll be honest, this card's been clutch. There's few things that are better than Clone Deserter turn 1 with an experience token, and then the next turn they feel like they can't remove it, so they're putting something on the board, and you give it a +3/+3. This thing is now a 5 or a 6/7 on turn 2. Just an absolute beast and difficult to deal with. Resupply, of course, Concord Dawn Interceptors, the 3-resource 1/4 Sentinel in space that gets +2 attack whenever it's defending. This thing's a freaking wall in space. I can't tell you how many of my opponents' aggressive strategies are completely thwarted. They go for the field lane. We beat them up with the R2-D2 or the Clone Deserter. We're getting too much restore. They swap to the space lane, and you drop this sucker, and they got to chuck 2 or 3 things into it to get rid of it. It's so strong. Sundari Peacekeeper, a fantastic card to ECL out because it frequently is going to remove something in the early game because of its raid 2. It's going to restore you in case you've taken some damage on base, and it's very rarely going to die at that 5 health point. I'm running 2 copies of Modded Cohort. I've seen versions that like 3. I don't love Modded Cohort, so I'm running it at 2, but it's not a bad piece of basic removal as you're getting ready to ramp up. Traitorous, of course, this card is just absolutely clutch against decks like Mandalorian decks or any sort of deck that wants to run upgrades. Let me just tell you, there's a lot of them that want to run upgrades right now. So Traitorous absolutely wrecks other raid decks, taking the stuff they've stacked experience on, decks that want to put shields on, all that sort of stuff. The Marauder, really great card, 4/5 with ambush when played. You can choose a card from your discard pile, and if it shares the name, I think of a card that's on your board, you can put it in your resource row. It doesn't come in all the time, but what it does, it just helps us clean up the field lane after they've removed our Concord Interceptors. 2 copies of Obi-Wan and 1 of the Mandalorian. I wanted a little bit of variety here. I think that they both do similar things. You know, one's a 4/6, one's a 5/6. Both have Sentinel. One has a when defeated, one has a when played. There's been occasions where they still haven't removed my Clone Deserter or my this guy up here, Cole Knoll. I can't pronounce his name. Still haven't removed him, and the Mandalorian come down, basically make him impervious, dropping 2 experience counters on him. Rivals Fall, this is against Vader, a lot of other decks that just want to stack a bunch of stuff on one unit. Rivals Fall takes care of them. We get to it pretty quick, too. Then the 3 Luke Skywalkers, because they're dominant. The 3 U-Wing reinforcements, because they help us find Luke Skywalkers. And then the 2 copies of Home One, because we are ramping and frequently get to that card. I've really enjoyed this deck, guys. I think I'm going to play a couple games on Carablast here, but I think I've dropped like maybe 1 or 2 games with this deck. It has been absolutely Value City dominant. There are times that Traitorous is just a total and complete blowout. Pretty much anything aggressive stands almost no chance against this deck because you're literally your Sundari Peacekeepers, your Cull, your Restored Arc, your Yoda, your Clone Deserter, your Home One, all of these things, your Luke Skywalker, your Rey herself, all of these things have restore. You couple that with the things like Yoda with a Jedi lightsaber, your Concord Dawn Interceptors, or your modded cohort with your Obi-Wan and Mandalorian coming down the same turn that your Rey comes down. You put up such a wall. And this guy, the Sundari Peacekeeper, he might as well be a 1/5 with Sentinel because your opponents are absolutely going to want to take him out because they cannot deal with that raid 2 restore 2. It's just too lethal. Same as Yoda. Might as well be a 2/4 with Sentinel. If your opponent's an aggressive strategy, they're absolutely going to try to take that Yoda out, and it's going to be beneficial to you because it's going to give you card advantage. I have absolutely loved this deck, guys. I'm going to take it over. We're going to try it out and play a couple of games with it, but let me know what you think about this deck in the comments below. If you think I'm missing something, if you think I've mucked something up here, I really love this style of deck. We'll see if we can't get a couple of wins with it. Okay, guys, here we are. We're going up against a Kylo Ren red deck, a double red. This deck is going to be extremely aggressive. Could be a ton of stuff in the space lane as well. We do have the turn 1 Clone Deserters. We do have the Timely Intervention here, which is a great thing to resource. We can Sundari Peacekeeper if he does go field lane. So let's not mulligan this. Now, our opponent did win initiative here, so he is going to get that chance to go first. I'm going to go ahead and resource our Timely Intervention. And I think in this case, it might be really good for us to have Traitorous. So it's going to take us a while to get here. Let's go ahead and resource the Obi-Wan, even though it could be a really clutch card with clogging up the that lane eventually. Yeah, see, that could be a little problem for us. Already getting out the tie. Let's go ahead and place the Clone Deserter out. Our real hope here, guys, is that we see, yeah, anything played in this lane. Let's give the experience token here, so he can't just remove this and gain card advantage. The nice thing is here, he doesn't really want to gain card advantage. It's actually just straight up bad for him. His Kylo just gets obviously worse if he has card advantage. Here we do see the resupply, but I don't think this is a game we're necessarily going to be ramping in. Although next turn it might not be a bad idea to ramp. I don't think we're going to get Inspiring Mentor out. It's probably just too slow this game. We'll see if we can't get enough. We're hoping he'll kind of take damage in on the base, and he does literally immediately. This lets us get this out, an ambush attack, the ECL. Sundari Peacekeeper removes it. We immediately begin to heal. It's exactly what we're looking for. We need to be aware that his Kylo is coming down literally next turn already, which is not great for us. We do have this 3/4 in place. This thing will be able to swing for 3 points of damage on it. So it is possible that we can just remove it if we get a chance to get an experience token on the Sundari Peacekeeper. What do we do here? Resolving the ability of Kylo Ren. Oh, he's just literally discarding something to give something plus to attack. Just going to take extra health. Let's take the damage. The nice thing is here, guys, we're actually going to have the initiative. He takes the 4, but we can claim initiative here, which is very good for us in this scenario, I think. Okay, the 5th brother comes out. The Jedi lightsaber is very good here. I think we're definitely keeping that. I don't think we'll ever be in a scenario where we can Rivals Fall. So let's go ahead and resource our Rivals Fall here. And we'll kind of see what our opponent does. We're going to see definitely Kylo's going to come out this round, but he's going to want to get rid of as many cards as possible from his hand in that process. Now, one of the things that I'm a little bit worried about is about him basically taking the 5th brother into our Sundari Peacekeeper here. So I think this isn't... We're at 4. Next round, we could be at 1 more. I think one of the... Maybe this is a good idea. We're just going to go ahead and give the experience to the Peacekeeper now. Just puts him out of range of killing him with 5th brother. And it also puts my Sundari Peacekeeper in range of killing his Kylo Ren. I think both of those things are probably pretty important. He probably is just going to take the 2 damage to my base here. He does. We kind of expected that. He's going to deal with damage to himself to be able to get something out. Which isn't bad for us. Oh, okay, yes. So he actually doesn't deal damage to my base, chooses to trade in instead. Here, we have 1 damage on him. Now, the nice thing, it would be great in this scenario to be able to basically say, we're going to resupply so that next round we can put Rey out and start restoring 3. But we really need a way to deal with this Kylo. And I think the best way for us to deal with this Kylo is to get the Jedi lightsaber out. And if he takes the 2 damage here, I think we're totally cool passing. And okay, he's going to discard a card. So we could take and kill this, but it's going to let him deal a lot of damage to us. So I think we're going to actually just pass here and let him take the 4 damage on our base. We're kind of in a sticky situation here. We can always steal this, which is pretty good next round. We're going to pass again here. We're basically just not taking this 5 damage. He very likely at this point does not put the Kylo out because it's just straight up getting removed by me. So yeah, he's probably... Oh, he puts the Fallen Lightsaber out. Can still put the Kylo out here. Can still put the Kylo out. We're going to pass because the Kylo can still go out. He probably is going to claim initiative here from me. Yeah, exactly. But I just could not risk... I don't think I could risk the Kylo coming out. Perhaps the right play there was getting rid of this, but I just didn't feel like I could risk it. We're going to go ahead and put the resupply under. I think we're good. We're just going to traitorous this guy if we are given the opportunity. We'll kind of see what happens here. But traitorous probably just blows this game out. If I get a chance to traitorous this 5th brother, there's a chance he's just going to take the attack with 5th brother as well and do a ton of damage to my base, which is probably the smart move for him, is to get the chance to get that Fallen Lightsaber damage in. But if he's also trying to basically keep it, okay, yeah, he wants to increase the attack of something here. And that's perfect, because we're just going to traitorous this and take it. And now we have his fifth brother. And unless he has a disabling Fang Fighter in hand right now, that's pretty much just game. There's really just absolutely nothing my opponent can do at this point against me. He can put that out. Now this thing would come down with 5 attack. I think that's important to note here. I think it's okay. Raid 1 on attack, deal 1 damage to this unit to deal 1 damage to a ground unit. We're actually going to attack this. Do you want to deal 1 damage to fifth brother? No. Let's just take the 10. We have him at 19 already. That puts him in literally a terrible position. We get to claim initiative here. We're not at all nervous about this now. Okay, there we go. He's just going to use that to remove the fifth brother that we took. And that's pretty much game, guys. I mean, we have 2 Lukes in hand. We're on the turn to get Ray down. We're not even going to worry about ramping. We're just resourcing away our ramp. We have 9 damage on our base right now. Our opponent only has 4 resources. I don't even know that he resourced last round. Our Ray's coming out with Restore 3, and there it is. Game over. There's game 1. Told you guys, this deck is absolutely dominant against aggressive strategies. Just totally, completely wrecked that game there. Okay, guys, we got another aggressive list to play against here with the Sabine Energy Conversion Lab. But I think this is, because it's more damage from hand, I think it's actually more aggressive and more dangerous than what we were up against before with the Kylo red deck. Do you want to take them all again? No, we're going to go ahead and keep this hand because we have the Clone Deserter in hand, because we have the Resupply, because we have the Sundari. I think all of those mean that we keep this. We're going to go ahead and get rid of Rival's Fall because it's not going to be good for us in this matchup. I think all of these have the chance to be good for us, so we'll go ahead and resource away that Luke Skywalker as well. Let's get the Clone Deserter out round 1. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and let's give the Experience token. I actually think I would have Energy Conversion Labbed there. I think that he made a mistake there. I think he should have ECL'd there. Chose not to. Going to go ahead and take initiative. I think that's an interesting choice as well. The Concord Dawn Interceptors here is extremely relevant. I think most of these cards are really relevant, actually. The Inspiring Mentor has the ability to be really good, but we're just going to resource it in this scenario. Oh, okay. Our opponent immediately hits the Inspiring Mentor on him. So in this case, we actually are going to lose this. We're going to lose to him here because we don't have anything to fight back with. I feel like the play is actually going to be to get the 3 damage on his base uniquely enough. There's a chance he has a 1-drop here, which would be bad. Oh, he's going to take the 4 damage just on our base. In that case, let's Energy Conversion Lab this and attack in. It's going to heal us too. He still has 1 resource left. Looks like probably he's taking initiative here, although he could deal 1 damage to our bases. If he had a 1-drop, I feel like he likely would have played it already. So it feels like we're probably getting... Okay, he is just going to take the initiative. Interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and pass. The Spark of Hope here is not at all insignificant. And neither is the second Clone Deserter. We have the ability here to Spark of Hope and also on 4 resources. I think that Yoda's very good here. Yoda's very good. Let's get rid of the resupply. I think the resupply is going to be a little slow. Let's see what he chooses to take out. We got ourselves in a really good scenario as is. He's just going to take the damage on base. To me, that seems like a mistake. But let's go ahead and take the damage into this. We'll heal our base for 2. And uses Sabine Wren's ability here. We can Spark of Hope here. But we can also just Clone Deserter. I think we just put out the second clone. Okay, there's the Sabine coming in. I think that we just take the 3 damage against the Sabine now, so he's easy to remove. He is going to get the Darksaber on the Sabine, which is obviously literally terrible for us. We're going to put Yoda on the board. We're going to have to put a ton of damage into this Sabine in order to get rid of it now. Now we're in a really tough situation with that. We need 5 more damage on this in order to get rid of it. It's very likely that we're going to Spark of Hope this round. So 2 damage left. Luckily, we can get rid of it with either of these, but he's still going to get another 6 points of damage on our base, 7 points of damage on our base with a Sabine, which puts us in a really bad scenario. Let's go ahead and just remove it. We still have a decent amount of restore. The Poe Dameron's going to come in. That's not great for us either. Let's go ahead and hit the Spark of Hope. Both of my Clone Deserters died this round, so that's okay. He's going to claim initiative. We are going to put the experience out on our Yoda, and then we're going to deploy. And the reason for that is we actually have to get rid of this Poe Dameron. Like, if we do not get rid of this Poe Dameron, we're in really bad shape. So we're actually going to take the 3 damage here. We did get to draw, probably not what we needed. We're going to give the experience token here and live through it, which does, I mean, it dramatically lowers the amount of damage that we've taken, which is great for us in this scenario. If something dies, we do have the Luke this round with the Restore 3, so we may have gotten there. We may have gotten there. There's a chance our opponent swaps lanes here and just says, you know what, okay, yep, we're going to ECL out the Wrecker, probably going to deny, yep, doing anything there just to get that huge chunk of damage in on the Wrecker. This dies, we're just going to remove the Wrecker. And we still have the Restore 3 out, which is good for us. He's very likely just going to claim initiative here, although he probably feels like he really needs to start pushing damage. He doesn't push any damage this round. I'm still waiting to have to block up this lane over here. If we're moving to 8 resources, I want to be able to play 2 3-drops and a 2-drop. So we're going to probably just resource this Restored Arc this round. If there's anything that's going to save us here, it's going to be just a ton of restore. It's going to be a ton of restore. We do have a good bit of restore on the board right now. His deck could have a lot of reach here, which could put us in a pretty negative scenario. Okay, there's the red 3, kind of exactly what I knew was coming. Let's get that Restore 3 out. Okay, the K2SO comes down. We're going to get Concord Dawn Interceptors out. We're going to get this out. And I think we're going to go and get this out as well, just because it's just more and more and more restore. Just basically saying, you're not going to kill us. We're going to restore up all of our life. And here we have another Concord Dawn. Let's resource our Concord Dawn. He is first, letting him, okay, yep, going to remove our Luke and take the 3 damage to our base. I think here we just want to restore 2. It's just important for us to restore in case he has, like, yep, a double for a cause, for example. We need to be really careful with 4 cause here. He's going to put a couple things back on top. We're just going to take the damage on base and heal. Once again, another 4 cause. That's exactly what I was worried about, was that we would get hit with double 4 cause here. And so we did get to draw our timely intervention. It's not super relevant right now. Let's play this. We need restore, so we're going to grab this and just hit that with it. And our opponent is out of options, but we do have, oh, okay, that's perfect. The fact that our opponent does this says, and there it is, guys. We get the win. We get the win. Okay, like I said, this deck is extremely good against aggressive strategies. It's actually pretty good against mid-range stuff. It probably struggles the most against control. I've really been enjoying it. Ray Green for this week in my Discord league. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Of course, always like and subscribe here and join us over on Discord. You can find a link to that in the description of this video. Thanks for tuning in with me today, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.